So boys, are we qualified to love?
I don't know if I'm qualified. I would only like one thing, and it is to die graciously, whatever that means.
What a great movie. Pasta's really easy to make.
Wait, what?
How do you feel about that? Oh, these are like line readings that the white people were doing.
One thing I know we're qualified to love, movies.
Movies. That's us. I'm Wilson Lai.
I'm Benjamin Yap.
I'm Eli Sands.
You're listening to Deep Cut. On Deep Cut, we compare a director's most popular film with a personal favorite chosen by one of us.
We also discuss that director's life and career to bring context that helps us view their movies as they may want us to.
If you're enjoying the show, please rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts to help others discover the show. Better still, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or comment on episodes directly on Spotify. You can also find us at deepcutpod.com to find links to our socials, Discord, and Patreon.
Today on the podcast, we've returned to the multiverse of Sang-soo. You can check out other Sang-soo episodes, including a director introduction in episode 104 when we talk about Woman on the Beach, and episode 105 where we talk about Sang-soo's Night and Day. Today on the podcast, we're going to sort of rethink or recalibrate ourselves by looking at a Sang-soo popular pick, which is 2017's On the Beach at Night Alone. Considered by many to be his most autobiographical film, On the Beach at Night Alone tells the story of Min-hee, an actress who, after a public affair with a married film director, retreats to Hamburg, Germany to visit a friend and reflect on her life. In the second part of this movie, she later returns to a coastal town in Korea where she confronts her friends about their judgments and her own feelings of isolation and longing. Let's start by getting general reactions to this movie. When did you first encounter this movie? Was this a rewatch? Has this movie grown on you? Or if this is your first time watching, how are you feeling?
Yeah, this is one of those movies that's been on my watch list for the better part of a decade and now have finally seen it. I generally consider this Hong's popular pick, probably, right? Like, I feel like it's the one that kind of brought him a lot more name recognition outside the sort of like film festival-y circuits that he typically runs in. And, you know, I think there's a lot that I sort of respond to here and see in conversation with his other works. And it's probably not my favorite of his that I've seen, but it is definitely uncomfortable and cringy. And I'm wondering how it fits into the arc of his career from your perspective, Wilson. Like, it seems to me like this could be a pivot point between his later, more female-focused, more optimistic, more creative process-y focused movies and his earlier Men Suck oeuvre.
Yeah, I think it's definitely fits itself within that transitional period. I wouldn't say it's like the first movie that does that, but he is working towards that direction when he makes On the Beach at Night Alone. Ben, you've seen this before, right? And I remember you don't really like it that well. I mean, you like it decent amount.
It's like fine. Like that's my reaction. And then I watched it again. Still feel fine. But I really remember very little of this, except for the image of Min-hee on the beach at night, lying down, alone. And there are some elements in this which are quite mysterious, which I really want to talk about, which I'm like, what is this? And I don't remember any of it. And turns out I watched this way back in 2017, which is the year it came out.
Wow.
Which is like a full 8 years ago, which is nuts. I didn't realize I'd seen it such a long time ago. Since then, he has obviously made so many other films, and I've seen many of those films that he has made. And I think this is early on when I'm like watching Hong films. And at that point in time, I don't really know what to make of Hong at all. But I think for me, contextually, what's interesting is that it comes after my favorite Hong, which is 2016's Yourself and Yours. which I think we might do an episode on at some point after.
We will do an episode on.
Yeah.
Nice.
And easily my favorite Hong. And I think what's interesting about this film is compared to maybe other Hong films, somehow it's much more formless, if that makes sense. There's something kind of lackadaisical about the way that things move. Like you're not sure where we're going with this. And even when it ends, I don't really know what the point of that was and like why I'm being shown certain scenes. Whereas I would say that, especially early Hong films, you know why he's showing you stuff so that he can maybe repeat or to reflect it in some way. This one, you're just kind of like, oh, I guess stuff is just going on. And I think it kind of lacks some, for me, plot engagement for me to really sink in to what the movie is trying to express. And I think its big plus point is that it's very fun to watch Kim Min-hee play drunk.
Yeah.
Those two drunk scenes are like its key highlights. And I do wonder how the rest of the film supports those two scenes.
You know, Ben, what you're saying makes me realize that I think whereas a lot of Hong Sang-soo's works can stand on their own, even if you've not seen his other stuff, this one kind of necessarily, and perhaps by design, is in conversation with those other works and Hong's real life. Like, I don't think this works if you know nothing about Hong Sang-soo and Kim Min-hee's relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needless to say, but I think it is worth saying.
I really agree with Eli, and I really felt like this time watching it, because the first time I saw it, it was really early on, similarly with Ben, on my journey with Hong. I think revisiting it now, I still really, really enjoyed it and just feel like it's a very hard to place, but also emotionally effective film for me. And I think you are right, Ben, that this sort of marks a turning point in his career where he sort of starts making movies with plots that it's not really goal-oriented plots and more just like jumping between different scenes and to varying degrees of success. I think some movies work a lot better than others because what is in those scenes, like sort of the gold in those scenes is so good. But I felt like with On the Beach at Night Alone, the gold was there in most of the scenes for me, especially the big drunk dining scenes, which Hong is a master at composing, directing, writing. Yeah, I want to chat about this movie, and I guess we can talk about why it is such a popular pick in this context. So I think the big thing that followed or like was attached to this film was that it was made after it was revealed that Hong Sang-soo and Kim Min-hee were having an affair. And this was revealed through Korean tabloids. And they actually acknowledged this affair during the Seoul premiere of On the Beach at Night Alone. And so I think many people could link Kim Min-hee's character of Young-hee to Kim Min-hee herself. But I think watching it this time, I feel like there is a little bit more distance than I remembered there being. And I feel like this sort of can exist on its own outside of Hong's life.
It's a crazy press conference to also be like, yeah, we're sleeping with each other, because like we didn't really need to know that for the film. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird flex. And I think I would say it's a huge marketing move. And that is why it is so popular, because like the tabloids are doing all the whatever. You could just like say, confirm it to the tabloids. But no, let's do a press conference for the film telling people that it is in reference to the fact that we are having an affair with each other. That is very weird.
I kind of see it from the flip side, Ben, where if there is a goal to the movie or a point to sort of being shown what we're being shown, I think it's to generate public sympathy for Kim Min-hee, to show how it has reduced her status as an actress, as a woman, as a person in social settings. And you get to sort of see an inside glimpse of how actually complex and her character, at least, is. And I think by extension, her. There's a weird sort of play with like, especially now watching it in 2025 when the couple has a child and is together outside of the context of an affair.
No, it's still an affair.
I mean, it's still an affair.
Oh,
Because Hong
okay,
is still
well,
married to his...
Wife who is not able to, like, who refuses to divorce him.
Oh, okay. Well, they happily have a thing going, I guess,
Yes, they
is
do.
what I mean to say. There's a play with the audience's knowledge of this as a happy ending, or that a happy ending is coming. Again, partially that's by result of watching it so much later into the course of their relationship. But I find the work with her suffering, and particularly that, I think, dream sequence at the end where she gets into an argument with the director who she's been having an affair with. It's sort of like asking the audience to imagine themselves into the shoes of a Hong protagonist, perhaps more than he has done in other works that I've seen of his, where you're sort of looking at that protagonist in a bit of judgment. That's where I think the real life story and the movie kind of depend on each other.
But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like this movie like indicates a breaking up. And I feel like the whole her processing this breakup just never really happened in a Hong and a Kim Min-hee relationship. So it just feels like fan fiction. From my point of view, like watching it now, I'm like, oh, maybe there was maybe like a break that they had that he's drawing upon. But she is really going through a lot of emotions one would associate with getting over someone that you used to date. And I think that a lot of the thematic concerns of the film are talking about this. And that, for me, would mean that this is not really autobiographical at all.
But it's hard. Then why is that part of the press conference then? Because then it's like...
No, they didn't say that it was related to the film. They just referenced, they like talked about the affair.
That's my point. Like the fact that you do it during the press conference for your film
Yeah.
is doing something very deliberate. That's almost like you could say something like a 1910s relationship scandal to boost your film kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm saying that's smart.
True. Make your coin.
Like you're basically being like, yeah, I'm Kanye and Kim Kardashian right now. Why not?
Well, how is Kim Min-hee's career affected by the affair? That's maybe worth detailing in a bit.
She has had no career.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she has stepped away. So like Young-hee in the film, who everyone's asking her, when are you going to return to acting? I feel like a lot of people were asking Kim Min-hee herself, when is she going to return to acting? And she only chooses to act in Hong Sang-soo films.
Or does production management for him. Yeah. But also very critically to know is that she had all the sponsor deals as like a attractive actress, and they were all dropped because morally speaking, those brands didn't want to be associated with her, considering her role as a third woman, right? So morally speaking, they cannot associate with her. So she lost all those brand deals or whatever. She loses all forms of income generation that she was doing before this. And also, reminder, when did Handmaiden come out?
2016?
15 or 16, right? And that's when everyone's like, holy shit, Kim Min-hee is not just a pretty face. She can act. And then in 2 years, that's gone.
So does that happen before the production of On the Beach at Night Alone?
I think it's all kind of happening around the same time.
I think it was happening at that time, and he was drawing on that to make this film.
That's where I think that this movie works to generate some sympathy and complexity for her as a person.
I think so too.
And also to think that this is sort of their first way that she's publicly sort of addressing this is by playing this character.
Yeah.
Random context I want to drop that's like kind of interesting when we talk about morals is that recently there was a big survey in Singapore about how people think about certain things. Say, for example, LGBT issues, gambling, drugs, stuff like that. And so one section of the survey was about morality of certain things. And the number one thing that people think is like always wrong is infidelity. Number one, above like gambling and all kinds of other stuff, but like number one. And I do believe that that's probably the case in many other Asian countries. that infidelity is like somehow worse than most things. And it's so interesting because infidelity is in so many films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, we have like so many erotic thrillers about affairs, but this is like a grounded, ugly, again, cringy look at what does this actually do to someone. And Wilson, you're right that she does play that incredibly well. Like, worth saying what we've not yet said, which is that Kim Min-hee is incredible in this and an extremely compelling screen presence.
I'm definitely with you, Eli, in the sense that it's trying to present an argument for Kim Min-hee and the way that she acts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes sense in the larger context of the film and like the real life events. But I think what's interesting is it doesn't really address the idea of infidelity. It doesn't talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like in that sequence with the director, they talk about him being married, but like in that sequence, like no one seems to really care whether he's married or not.
Meaning the other production people at the table with them?
And then she asks, like, do you have a girlfriend now? He says no. And I'm like confused by all that.
Yeah, but these are also people who know him really well, and they're probably, him and his wife are not on any terms.
Yeah.
And I think that's a different set of people that is not the general public who is sort of treating Kim Min-hee the way that they were at that time.
Also, he's their employer and mentor and all that. So yeah, that's like the most uncomfortable dinner scene in a Hong movie, which is saying something.
They were all annoying to me. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Well, it didn't happen because it was a dream. So
Is it a dream?
So,
I did not read it that way.
how
do
do
you
you
read it?
But yeah, how do you read it then?
I was just like, I guess they had this conversation. I don't know.
I think that whole section from when she gets woken up on the beach by the AD up till when she gets woken up by the other person in the beach using the same dialogue of him waking her up is a dream sequence.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah, so she does not see anyone on from that crew.
I think yes and no.
It's really up to your interpretation of it.
I will also say that it's also irrelevant whether it's a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Because what is a dream but a movie? And I'm already watching a movie.
And the movie has already put me to sleep.
Yeah, the movie's already a dream. So what's the difference between the dream sequence and this one? Because like the whole thing, if we think about it as a dream reality of the real life event, same shit, right? Same shit.
Yeah, same shit.
It's representing her emotional state either way.
Yeah. I love this movie. It's sort of like Hong Sang-soo's Inception.
Yeah.
Like if you think about
very puzzly.
How part one ends with, you're like, where is she? She like walks towards the beach and you're like, where is she? And then it turns again and you have the man that's been following her, carrying her off, like kidnapping her. And then that's how you end part one. And part two starts with her in a cinema watching the end of a film and the lights going up. She's watching. Is she watching herself? Is she watching part one? We don't know.
That ending to part one is maybe the most startled I've been in a Hong Sang-soo movie. I was really unsettled by that moment.
Let's talk about this right now. Who is this man and what is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hong was asked about this in the New York Film Festival sort of talk back session with Dennis Lim. And we'll link this in the show notes. And he basically, he dodges the answer very gracefully, but he just says, oh, this was my cinematographer and he was dressed like that. And I made him do these weird things and it paid off. And then so I liked it so much. So that's why I asked him to do it again when we were in Korea in the windows.
That's him at the window?
Yeah, that's him in the windows.
That's
like, what the
him
hell
in
is
the
that?
windows.
When they're at a beach resort and they're checking in to their room and out the window onto the balcony as the main characters are conversing, there's a man outside scrubbing the window very ineffectively.
Yeah, what is up with that? Like,
the interesting thing is they don't act like they know that he's there. So the only point of the film where they do acknowledge the presence of this man is at the very, very start, or where second scene where they're in the park and sort of Young-hee, Kim Min-hee's character's friend, points over there and she's like, oh, that man's coming again. Like, we have to go. And then they like get up and they start running.
And before that, he asks them for the time as well.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Which
Yeah.
was such a Tim Robinson sketch moment.
Yeah.
It's like, first of all,
do you have the time?
you're in Germany. Why is there a random Korean man asking you for the time? From 200 meters away.
Yeah.
What is up with that? What's going on?
I think for me, the effect of that is that it means that in a kind of It Follows-ish way, because you do see that man walking slowly towards camera at one point, it means that Young-hee, her character, is always on guard and needs to always be on guard for people looking at her and looking out for her and trying to tell her that she's pretty and ask her for her number. And it's extremely unsettling when at the end of part 1, the classical music motif comes back in. She's walking towards the beach. Camera pans right over to her friends, pans back to the shore. She's not there. Pans left, and her legs are dangling limply over the back of this guy as she's being carried away, like she's unconscious. It's a level of disturbing and inexplicable on par with the balcony sequence in Power of the Gangwon Province, where a character, for no reason, dangles herself over the edge of the balcony as you're watching from the hotel room, unable to do anything about it. It really is a striking moment of powerlessness and confusion. And I agree, Wilson, that it feels like dream movie level of confounding.
It's maybe his most inexplicable movie.
I could get behind that.
He is a big fan of Buñuel. We did say that in the first episode. And I think this very much is coming to the surface here. And I also think, like, because it's such an interesting thing where his movies feel so realistic just because they're long takes and they're conversing and they're just doing a lot of action, that when something unexpected like this shows up, it's a shock to the system. And this is like sort of playing with patterning, not just even within a film, but within an entire filmography, if you have been following his like filmmaking up until this point.
It's a bit of surrealism creeping into grammar that we typically associate with realism. And yeah, I agree, Wilson, that the buildup of that realism and that grammar over the course of a filmography to be broken in this moment when this man who's kind of a vague threat suddenly literally takes her out of the image in a way that you're not expecting. It's one of his more kind of poetic and, Buñuel surreal level gestures.
Yeah.
Then what's the window cleaning mean? Like,
I don't know. I don't think he's willing to reveal what it is.
Like, at least the kidnapping, I'm like, I can kind of like get the emotional intent behind it.
Yeah.
You know? But like the window cleaning is just like, what is this? What's he doing? And why is it important?
I thought it was so funny.
It's very funny. He's not making progress.
Yeah, and the women leave, and then Kwon Hae-yo just starts like lounging on the sofa.
He also helps to open the door.
Yeah, I love that.
The fact that he is ignored by the group, and it's something that only we are really paying attention to as moving in the background. By the way, exactly opposite the camera, we're facing that window planimetrically. It's like a theater in the round kind of thing, where you're looking across the way and seeing other people witnessing this interaction from the other side. And it's a weird kind of audience mirror in a way. Like, what are they ignoring? What are they not talking about? But is scrutinizing them nonetheless.
You know what it reminds me of? The window cleaning. You guys know that video about like people's attention, and then they always show like a video of people playing basketball.
Yes.
And then in the middle of the scene is a gorilla suit guy running
Because they
around.
ask you to pay attention to how many times the basketball has passed. So you're not looking out for a gorilla.
This is what this reminds me of for some reason. And it's kind of like a specter hanging over it. The question is like, what specter? And like, is it just like the guy or like the feeling?
If he fully committed, I feel like Hong has a brilliant ghost film in him. Like, I think
man,
that would be fantastic.
I would love Hong Ghost film.
I think for me, if these things were maybe slightly more cooked, it would be a bit more interesting. And like maybe not fully cooked, like just a bit more, like just a little bit more.
Like, are we talking like Gen Alpha phrase cooked or like cooked?
Bacon oven cooked. No, it just needs to be a little bit more baked for me. Like these like random ideas. Not too much. Like don't over explain this shit to me, but like just give me maybe like the repetition needs to like happen one or two more times so I can be like, oh. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe doing that hurts the ideas. And it could very well be because like in a way, the weirdness of it and like the inexplicability of it is maybe the thing that makes it interesting.
Yeah. I think one thing that could explain this weirdness is that now on the podcast, out of the films that we've covered from Hong, we are getting into an era of Hong filmmaking where he is not planning out what he's shooting anymore. And he's just deciding the morning of. He says in this New York Film Festival Q&A that, oh yeah, I wake up at 4, I write from 4 to 9 a.m. The actors and crew are ready by 9 and I give them the scripts and they just find out what they have to do for the day. And I always find something for my actors, and that's how he made this film. He also made the first part not knowing that there was going to be a second part as well.
Oh, it was like kind of a short film.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like a short. He had like a 30-minute thing. That's what he said. And then he went back to Korea and was like, maybe I'll do another thing. And he's like, oh, actually, I could put these two ideas together. Yeah. No one's making movies like he's making movies.
Yeah, that is true. Like, it gets me thinking about how easy it would be to just like pick up a camera and... I mean, that's extremely hubristic to say. Like, it's not easy, of course. Like, he's a master at what he does.
I mean, they don't have to be good. Like, this guy's hit rate is not 100. But maybe if you do it enough times, you get one.
He does make a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I would argue that there's more than one hit there, Ben.
I'm not saying Hong has one hit. I'm just saying that with this style of filmmaking, you could at least make one hit.
Yes. Very true.
I want to ask about Ryan's Swen Notarized. What sort of patterns did Swen notice here?
I'm just putting it in because we've been talking about it, but I don't think from a structural point of view that this marks a big change in his filmography. I think it just seems like another normal Hong Sang-soo film. But I think what I want to focus on is these two big meal sequences. The first meal sequence Kim Min-hee has with her friends who she's reunited with in this town in Korea. I think it's called Gwanggun? I'm not sure. And she chastises them for not being real, not being with it. And she makes out with a friend. It's so good. I think the progression of this scene, and it's happening all in one take, and as Hong zooms closer into Kim Min-hee and starts doing away with the excess of the other characters in the scene, she is really able to shine in this scene. Let's just talk about this scene first. What do you guys think about this moment that we have with her and her friends?
Well, the lead up to it is that all these people kind of suck. Like,
Yeah.
The film programmer, the cafe guy, the cafe lady, the seemingly girlfriend of the film programmer, they're all insufferable people who are so rude to Junhye.
I kind of think they're fine, but that's me. They're like not interesting, but they're like normal. Like even that guy that's like dating the cafe girl, preceding the scene as that scene with Young-hee and that guy. And I was like, what is the point of this scene? I don't get, like, who is this guy? He's so uninteresting.
But what I love about that scene, though, is that the girlfriend is shouting at him from off camera. And Kim Min-hee is like very obviously breaking and just keeps on turning her head away from camera because she keeps on
and
laughing.
Like shaking with laughter.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, of course Hong is just like letting this run and keeping this in. Like,
I thought it was in character. It kind of made sense to me.
Yeah, you could really see it as in character, but I thought it was so cute.
My best theory about like what the film is really about is like in this scene that we're looking at right now, the first drunken tirade from Yong-hee. The scene zooms on the word desire. And this is a word that keeps popping up. Right? It pops up in the first section where they're like, where her friend's like, you have more desire than me. And then in this scene, the scene turns on the word desire. And everyone's like kind of talking about the fact that it's okay for her to like express and also indulge her desires. So I don't know if this is what the film is trying to get at. And then she talks about how she's like sleeping around in Germany or something. And then she starts talking about dicks. I'm like, okay, girl. Yeah, I'm like, once again, Hong with the white people got bigger dicks. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, bro, like, I don't know what to make of this insecurity from Hong, but okay. But anyway, it's kind of about normalizing like her sexual desire, but then also like encapsulating it with other stuff like, oh, you can't just keep sleeping around. Like, I might slip into being like a man-obsessed woman is what she says. She says that about herself, Yong-hee does. And I don't know, like this seems to be what the film is angling at. And then after here, then she starts kissing a woman as a way to kind of like counteract her obsession with men, I guess. Very cute. Like, I love to see it. Then what's his face? What's he say? The film programmer guy? One of my favorite Hong stand-in types. Heyo?
Kwon Hae-yo.
Kwon Hae-yo. He's like, I'm enjoying this too. I'm like, me too.
It's so cute. And I just love that Hong's able to really turn something very quickly from a very like deep and poetic comments on life or the affair that's happening right now. And then within maybe 2 lines of dialogue, able to switch on that and make something quite playful and like a light moment from it as well. And they both carry equal weight in Hong's mind. And he devotes equal amount of time to both the dark reality or the, not dark reality, but just like the dark elements and the light elements.
I mean, here, like, she's very kind of angry and like tells everyone that they're not qualified to love, but she is.
Well, she doesn't say that she is.
But then later on, she gives her friend a hall pass. A hall pass to feel love.
I mean, I think it's got nothing to do with the friends, honestly. Like, she's obviously just expressing her own frustrations and she's kind of like taking it out on them and all that.
Yeah.
It is an interesting expression of her character. Like, she talks about how she wants to like die graciously and like kind of like just disappear and stuff. I'm like, yeah, interesting. I mean, it's a good scene. It's like a good scene of like people talking.
It is.
Right. And talking about like how they feel about certain things, whether it's about love or death.
And that's such a brilliant thing that Hong's able to do is like not really introduce characters, but showcase scenes where characters really get into how they're feeling about the world. And then afterwards, you just never see them again. It's like such a beautiful, like in the moment kind of thing that Hong's able to do and like flesh out a character's view on the world in just a conversation.
It's still a very inexplicable movie. Like, sure, I can say that I understand what's going on with the scenes and all that and like the characters, and I get Yong-hee as a character. I'm still just so confounded by like what it is as a whole. And to be fair, your film doesn't have to be of a whole, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't have to cohere.
I just like that in general, and I'm like, huh, like what do I do with this? You know, like it doesn't have that kind of thing that kind of seals the deal for me. And I'm trying to figure out what it could be that could seal the deal for me to really like kind of like put a period on the film.
I'm so sorry to our listeners, but Ben has just the greatest gesticulation right now where he's like shaking his wrist around as he makes a fist. And it's really helping me understand the point, this gesture.
It's the grasping. I'm trying to grasp the film.
It's like, imagine an arm coming at your face and then like turning into a fist, but there's a pen in the fist.
But not punching you.
Yeah, imagine Ben punching you in the face and you'll kind of get the right idea.
I mean, yeah, I guess I want this one to punch me in the face. Like once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know. What do you think, Eli? Considering you and me are like similarly maybe like not feeling the film completely.
Yeah, I think this conversation is helping me appreciate it more, but I'm never emotionally walloped by Hong's films, but they do tend to linger. Like, I've been thinking about the ones that we covered most recently, which are called
Woman on the Beach.
some Hong
You've been
titles
thinking
that I
about
don't
them.
remember.
Yeah.
But I'm often surprised by how much they do stick with me, even if I can't remember the title, where I'll think of images and interactions. Like Power of Gangwon Province, years later, sticks with me in moments even beyond that balcony moment that I mentioned earlier. They don't have an immediacy because I think there's a fair amount of distance in his movies, but I find myself sort of thinking about and recalling them. And partially that quality of, I don't know what to do with this right now, is what lets them stick with me. And also why I'm getting so much from talking through them with you both. Like that's sort of the thing that helps it come alive for me a little bit more.
The Hong marinating is a real thing, I would say.
Yes. Yeah. I love that term.
And just coming back to it or thinking about it more or even rewatching it unlocks different things in your head about what you feel like the movie is. But also to your point, Ben, I feel like I have really embraced the vibes forward nature of the newer Hong films and just really not really searching for some big thing, but just going along for the ride and enjoying scenes as they come as just disparate scenes and then sort of trying to intellectualize it afterwards. But I think that's just the way that I have been approaching his newer works.
If anything, I would say that there's actually not that much to intellectualize about these films. Like you kind of, for me at least, like at the very most, enjoy it from a moment-to-moment level, which is like fine. Like I'm not saying that's a bad way of doing it. It's just like, how do you maybe judge the entire film from your moment-to-moment enjoyment of it? Even if it's not necessarily a cohesive total, doesn't that mean, like, if you enjoy it moment-to-moment throughout, then I guess that means it's a good movie. But I don't necessarily do enjoy it all the way through moment-to-moment.
Yeah, I don't either, actually.
There's moments where I'm like, I don't know why this is part of this. Like, I don't find it that interesting, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what this man's doing. Half the time, I'm like, why?
Why, Hong? Why?
One other thing that did emotionally land for me, in addition to Kim Min-hee literally being carried off at the end of part one, is when she sings her song to herself outside the cafe. I, to your point, Ben, can't really intellectualize why that was effective, but it's like a little self-soothing thing as she's smoking a cigarette and taking a break from these kind of aggravating people around her and just stepping outside, being with herself. It's when I think about the nature of me watching the movie the least. It is just sort of an immersive moment where you get to see how this character is with herself.
Yeah.
This is Chantal Akerman shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Meetings
it is.
of Anna.
Eli, have you seen Claire's camera?
I've not.
Oh my gosh. The singing. There's a song.
We could add that to the roster.
We could.
Just become a Hong podcast if you keep adding stuff to the roster.
We have a new one to cover.
3 upkeeps a year.
Yeah.
10 episodes a year is just Hong. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the upkeeps alone.
Give the people what they want.
I don't know if that's what the people want. Hit us up in the comments if you want more.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the second scene? Like, I mean, we kind of touched on the second drunk scene. We touched on it very early on.
Yeah. We finally get to see the director, and there's this confrontation that happens when all of the director's crew that he's going location scouting with are all present too. And he reads her a passage from a book, which sort of indicates that, I don't know what does it indicate, but it was like, oh, we're done, basically.
I thought it was kind of an expression of how he was in love with her, because it's like a passage about an affair. And like how they make out, like, I don't know.
The vibes are so bad in this scene. They're rancid.
Yeah, I feel so uncomfortable watching it.
You know, she basically like opens up and says, basically like, I loved you. Why did you do this to me? And his response is, because you were so pretty. To drop a rare curse on the pod, like, what the fuck? Like, that's so...
Yes!
That's so insulting. That's also a moment where I felt a lot of sympathy for Kim Min-hee. Like, God, I hope Hong Sang-soo is not really like this guy, and he's just sort of making himself a worse auto-fiction stand-in than he actually is. But it asks you to speculate and wonder, is this the kind of treatment that this person who I only know through seeing on a screen has gone through? What depth and pain is there that I'm not immediately conceptualizing through seeing her projected onto a wall?
You could say, like, in doing this, what does Hong do? Because, like, this is pretty cringy because the way that this guy's surrounded by yes men, the way that he's just interested in her because she's pretty, like, he's presenting the worst version that you can imagine him as an old man.
Yes.
With a younger woman.
Yeah.
But you could think of that as a way to defend himself from that criticism because he's telling you what he already knows you're thinking.
Could very well be.
It's like a bluff, but it's like real, possibly. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird way to cover yourself. It's kind of performative male by making a movie about how men suck.
Yeah. Before we started rolling, we were talking about Luca Guadagnino's maybe defense of Woody Allen in the press for After the Hunt. But there is also something Woody Allen about it.
Yeah.
Like the portrayal of yourself as something far more dastardly than maybe you think you actually are. Just in Woody Allen's case, he actually was a lot worse than his screen persona.
Yeah, it's weird because usually the Hong stand-ins are so much more fleshed out than what we get here. And I feel like we only get one scene with him, and that's how he's coming across. It just reflects on the different narrative concerns or character concerns Hong has with this film. But interesting choice to present the director like that.
And also that it's in her dream. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, like, it isn't even possibly an autobiographical work, even in the most extreme version of the interpretation, because the perspective is Kim Min-hee's. Like, if we think of him as director, as writer of the story, then this is actually biographical of the other party, rather than autobiographical of his version of events. So he's already put himself on the opposite side. So he's the one being judged by the character in that sense. It's a Kim Min-hee story. It's not a Hong Sang-soo story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And that puts a distance between what he thinks of the situation, because he's filtering it through the other party in the way that he constructs this narrative that's based on what happened between the two of them. So there's like a double filter in the way that he is presenting a version of the events. I'm not saying a version is in reality, but like a remix of the events through the perspective of not himself, but rather the other party in the events. But he's writing the script, but he's presenting it from her perspective. And that creates a sort of multiple layers of remove. So even though it's about this real life thing, like, because of the multiple levels of remove, then it's like, what is this really trying to express?
Last few episodes, we talked about shapes of the movies. I feel like this is like, it's like circles within circles, but I don't know how many circles.
I see it as kind of a squiggly, like, cartoon tumbleweed kind of thing.
I feel like the parts themselves, like how there's a part 1 and a part 2, definitely, like, I don't know, inform the shape for me.
Oh. It's kind of like a pyramid, but with one line.
A pyramid, but with one line. Where's the line?
Near the top, which is like maybe the difference between, I'm going to draw it, like a mountain.
Oh, okay. Like a food pyramid.
Yeah, like a food pyramid.
Yeah.
But with only 2 sections.
Top part and the bottom part.
Yeah. Kind of like this, the first part of the movie is just on top of the second part.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's more going on in the second part.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I like that.
Huh, you can hire me. I don't speak Korean. I'll draw shapes for you.
He can draw a damn good diagram. That's what he can do.
I've been drawing diagrams a lot, but anyway. I'll talk about this after the podcast.
That's behind the paywall.
Yeah,
To hear
if
Ben
you
talk
want to
about
find out
diagrams.
what diagrams Ben's been drawing, sign up for our Patreon. Is there more to say here?
I don't know. Is there?
Maybe not, but I think reflecting on how this is a popular pick, very odd film to be a popular pick because it's so hard to explain or sort of determine what it is out of all the Hong films.
I will say, I think Woman Who Ran is a better version of this movie in that sense, for me.
Yeah, because she's going around meeting people. Woman Who Ran is such good vibes.
Because Woman Who Ran I actually really like. And I think the simplicity of that structure, but that has more of a structure than this one. And more clarity as to what it's trying to express. And also maybe even more plot engagement. It's like kind of a refined version of what this is. This is like the loosey-goosey like inspiration to Woman Who Ran. I'm not saying that this doesn't need to exist. I'm saying that like, in a way, like if you want something a bit more like refined and structured, then Woman Who Ran will probably work better for you. But if you want something that's vibey, then this would probably work better for you.
I would argue there are more moments of whimsy and humor in The Woman Who Ran. It's like much more of an enjoyable watch.
The vibes there are also good, right? This is more of like a different kind of vibe. This is more like sad girl vibe.
It is. It's winter and she's at a beach. It's depressing.
I love winter beaches, actually.
Okay.
Get out of here. What?
What are you doing?
It's nice to take a walk on the beach in the
There's
winter.
some New York shit. I can feel it. It's a very New York thing.
I also really like rocky beaches.
Oh, God.
Maybe even more than sandy beaches.
So, folks, more Hong on the table?
Let us know in the comments. I'm going to start saying this again. More in every episode. I'm going to say it.
What's up, guys? Smash that like button. And
Smash that subscribe button.
Hey, we might have a special guest on this series, so it could be coming up.
We're going to have so many episodes on Hong.
I love it. We got to do an
We've
upkeep.
already said this person's name on the podcast today, and it might happen.
Oh,
We already said that name. Yes, we have.
Yes, we did.
Oh, I missed that.
We're not going to say it anymore.
It's Kim Min-hee.
Just in case
Min-hee?
it doesn't happen. Yeah.
It's not Kim Min-hee. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be, but like it's currently not.
Hong Sang-soo. Thank you for listening to Deep Cut. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts to help others discover the show. A great way to support us is to leave a review for our show or comment on our episodes directly on Spotify. Let us know if you want more Hong. You can keep up with Deep Cut on Instagram, Letterboxd, and X at Deep Cut Pod, or follow our TikTok at DeepCutPod_film. If you want to chat with us or other fans of Deep Cut, come join our Discord server where we talk about movies, TV, music, and share what we're up to. We also have a Patreon. If you like the show and you want to support us with a monthly subscription, we deeply appreciate it. Click the link in our description or go to deepcutpod.com to find links to everything that we've mentioned here. A special thanks to our Patreon Deep Cut Pick supporter, Leah Lai. Without you, we cannot do this show. Deep Cut is hosted and produced by us, Wilson Lai, Benjamin Yap, and Eli Sands. Our cover art is designed by Justina Yam, and our theme song is composed by the one and only Eli Sands. I'm Wilson.
I'm Ben.
I'm Eli.
Take care, and we're looking forward to talking about more movies with you next time.